Hey guys, how you doing? I'm here in my garage again, and today I want to have a frank discussion with you guys, and I'm going to try and keep it as positive as possible. Let me start by saying I think WarGaming that you are slowly killing this game, and you are moving more and more out of touch with the player base. And from just what I'm observing, the changes that you are working on and the changes that you are implementing are just, they're not in sync with what we as players expect from the game. And so I'm going to go through some of this stuff, and I'm going to try and be positive. I'm going to give my opinion. But let's just start. I've got some notes here, and we'll go through it. Recently, you've reworked HE. And you put out a nice little video that explained that now when you're in a super heavy like this and you roll out on the battlefield, you will no longer have to worry about people shooting HE at you. And HE has been nerfed across the board. And I just think to myself, now I'm not a Unicom, I'm not a fantastic player, I'm just a regular schmo that loves the game, and I have thousands of regular schmoes that love the game that watch my content, and I get the feedback from them. But from the regular schmo perspective, I don't know anyone that thought that when they rolled out in a Type 5 heavy or a super heavy, that they were worried about being shot by HE. I don't know anyone that thought that HE was a problem that needed to be reworked and nerfed across the board in this game. I just don't think that you're in touch with the reality of the player base. In reality, what people that were rolling out in Type 4 heavies or E100s or mouses, what they were worried about was not being spammed by HE. What they were worried about was encountering some tanks that would spam gold at them right through their turrets. People were... The concern is getting spammed by heat and APCR by overpowered tanks and your armor being meaningless. That was the concern of the player base, and somehow you construed this idea that HE was a problem, and so you nerfed HE. The real problem is a tank that has 258 pen simply spends more credits and then has 340 pen and could shoot right through your super heavy. So I don't know where you got this idea that HE needed reworking, but you reworked HE. Okay, that's just number one. I'm gonna give you my solutions and my advice later, but let's just go through them. SPGs, you've just now basically crippled SPGs across the board. SPGs are utterly useless. I just did a video. Rest in peace. SPGs are destroyed in this game. And I know a lot of people complained about SPGs and getting shit on by SPGs over and over again in games. But your solution was to this complicated, convoluted, complete, total rework, 3 different shell types, tracers in the sky so the SPGs are located the minute they shoot, circles on the map, new intuition skill, AP shells, non-stunning HE shells, HE shells that have just a complete... Have you ever heard of keep it simple stupid, the KISS theory? Keep it simple stupid? Maybe in Russian KISS is spelt with a C. Complicated stupid. I don't know that people were complaining about individual SPGs as much as I think the majority of people were complaining that there's too many. You start a game and you're on Prokhorovka and there's 3 SPGs per side and 6 light tanks per side. And of course, if you're in a heavy like this, you're going to get shit on by SPGs over and over. You're the slow tank and you're going to get it over and over again because there's 3 in every game. Keep it simple, stupid. All you had to do was limit SPGs to 1 per game. And there, the aggravation of being hit by SPGs is reduced by 66%. You didn't have to completely rework and go through this whole complicated update. And I'm sure you worked hard and did a lot of work on that, and your programmers and your employees devoted countless amount of hours and effort to achieving this update that everyone looks at and goes, this is ridiculous. Now you're going to have a micro patch in the future where you're going to have to buff SPGs because they're utterly useless now. But anyway, that's a debate whether you're an SPG player or you're not. But you could have kept it simple and just limited SPGs to one per side. Would have achieved, I think, a decent balance. You worked. Thank God you didn't implement it, but you spent a lot of time testing crew changes, eliminating crews, and just having a commander and having a whole matrix of ridiculous commander skills, which would just make more and more power creep, turbo boosting, and all sorts of weird commander skills. People that have trained their crews for 7, 8, 9 years in this game would have their crews taken away, and then nobody asked for that either. You're working on stuff that no one's. It's not what's on the top priority of players or the top list of complaints. You seem to be focusing on stuff that every time you're working on something new or implementing something new in the game, the majority of the regular schmoes and the regular player base just goes, "Why the hell are they doing that?" Like, I didn't want all my crews taken away and having a new commander skill system. I didn't ask for HE to be nerfed. I didn't want a complete rework of SPGs with 3 different shell types and all this garbage. You're doing stuff, and I don't know who you're listening to, or maybe it's the small select group of elites that you are taking advice from don't represent the whole player base. Maybe it's you just have you're getting feedback from just a few select unicoms that are saying, "Oh, I'm tired of being focused," and you put the anonymizer in. "Oh, I'm tired of getting spammed by HE when I'm hull down in my reward chieftain," so you nerf HE. "Oh, I'm tired of getting focused by artillery because I'm a purple unicom," and so you nerf. Like, maybe you're listening to the wrong people. Maybe you got to listen to the overall player base. So let's switch it now, and I'll tell you what I think. What I think the major concerns that the overall player base has in this game. It's just a few simple things you can do, a few simple changes that I think could make this game a lot better. The first one, I've got some notes here. What are people actually asking for? What are they actually complaining about? Yes, they were complaining about SPGs. That was one of the things people were complaining about, is they hated being shit on by SPGs. And I think the simplest solution would have been to just limit SPGs to 1 per side. That would simple, done. If they have to wait in the queue a little bit longer to get a game, too bad. That would have been the keep it simple, stupid solution. You chose to do a completely convoluted, the most complicated and the biggest nerf to a tank line in the history of World of Tanks that I've ever seen. Okay, that's done already. What other things were people actually complaining about? Not HE, not a commander skill rework. What were they complaining about? EBRs. Everyone hates EBRs. EBRs destroy the game. These destroy the game. Everyone I know can't stand EBRs. Some people have stopped playing because of EBRs. Some people no longer play tier 9 and 10 because of EBRs. I know there's some unicoms that love their EBR and they dominate on the battlefield in their EBR. But the EBRs destroy the game, and I'm going to explain why, and then I'm going to tell you what you can do to try and fix it. The reason they destroy the game, and I don't think your data, the data that you look at, tells the story, because I'm sure you have thousands of statistics from all the battles, and you look at them and you go, well, we're looking at the average damage. They don't do excessive amount of damage. We're looking at the average spotting. Well, they do very good spotting, but not that much more. How many shots, how much damage do they take when they get hit? Well, they do tend to absorb a few shots in their tracks. And you look at the statistics and you say, well, it's not that bad. But that's not how they destroy the game. They destroy the game because players that play them are rewarded for being clowns. They just drive around full speed, and it's not the damage they do or the spotting they do. It's how they affect the gameplay of the enemy team. Right? Let me show you an example here. I've got an example game. We'll show you this quick example and then we'll continue. Now this game just started. It's 30 seconds into the game. And you look at the matchmaker, that's a little foreshadowing, that's another issue. The enemy team has 2 EBRs. Our team has a Manticore and a T100. Okay, we'll talk about matchmaking next, but this is the example of the EBRs. The game has just started. I haven't gotten into position yet. The game is now pretty much over. I've finally made it to the first bush where I can put it in siege mode. And look at the minimap. The 2 fast EBRs have moved down this flank. And it's... These guys in front of me are all spotted. They're all taking damage. That poor, what is that, a Charfateur is moving around. I have to retreat already. The game is already, we're losing by 4,000 HP. And it's not that the EBRs have done so much damage and so much spotting. It's that everyone on this flank realizes, oh God, there's 2 EBRs. If we even stand our ground here, they're going to YOLO by. We'll get lit. We'll get shot by the 2 artilleries. We're going to get shot by... My whole flank runs away. The T-10 runs away. The Leopard runs away. I run away. And we have to. We can't not run away, because if we don't run away, the EBRs are going to zoom. Ah, Mario! Ooh, yeah! Luigi! Right? And they just drive by, and we're screwed. It's over. This game's over. The EBRs are going to drive around like clowns now. Like, if you want this to be a clown game, just put clowns in the game, right? So if you're an EBR driver and someone shoots you in the wheel and it starts wobbling, then a little animated clown could jump out of the EBR and go, "Oh, Luigi, give me the pump," and blow the and I keep going at 80 kilometers an hour. All right, I'm getting a little bit excited, but the reason this game is over. We're losing by 11,000. I know we lost the north as well. Yeah, fanboys, sure. Yeah, you should have went to A3. You would have been whatever. The thing is, just the presence of the EBR on our flank meant that the whole team vacated, because all people do in the first couple of minutes of the game is wonder, where's the EBR? Where's the clown? Oh God, he's going to spot me. And our team has played different. Now, they've got rewarded for driving around like clowns, and it's not that they've spotted us or they've done damage to us, but our whole team has had to vacate this whole flank. We couldn't shoot across the valley for support. We couldn't do anything. We just had to run away because there's EBRs in the game. And it's not going to show up in the post-game stats, in damage or spotting. What they've done is our team, the enemy team of the EBRs, doesn't play the game. We just cower and run away from the EBRs. They impact the game in ways that are not shown in the post-game stats. They basically destroy the gameplay for everyone on the enemy team. There we go, another 4-minute game. So from that example, I mean, I hope I made my point. What would I do to fix this? Well, number one, the matchmaking, it's very simple, right? I know that you might think you have to have a complicated update with 23 different things. No, it's very simple. What you do is you make sure in the matchmaker, you do a little tweak that if one team has an EBR, the other team has to have an EBR. So it's balanced. You can't have one team with 2 or 3 EBRs and the other team with none. It just doesn't make sense, because they're not like any other tank. They're not like the other light tanks. They should be a separate class on their own, but they're not. It would be like giving one team, 3 of these heavy tanks, right? And then giving the other team 3 Panthers. Which team's going to win? It's the same thing. If you give three of these to one team, and you give the other team 3 of these are going to win. So you have to balance the matchmaker. You have to, because I know you're not going to remove them, right? That would be the correct answer, is just remove them, because they really have no place in this game. They're almost too fast for your servers to even handle. They drive across the map at 100 kilometers an hour, and people with low ping, or I mean high ping, or people with poor internet connections, or not great computers, and playing from all over the world. The sample rate of the locations of tanks in your servers is such that these things can drive across your field of view on the map, and you shoot, and the shell goes right through them. But what happens on your computer and what happens on the server just doesn't match. They're too fast, and you can't even hit them. They destroy the game. Okay, so what was the solution? Number one, make sure that there's a balance of, if one team has 1 or 2 EBRs, the other team has to have 1 or 2 EBRs. Preferably limit it to 1 per side, just like SPGs. And the other thing, when they're hit, when you shoot at them and you hit the wheel, this wobbly wheel, a tank that can drive faster than any other tank in the game while it's technically tracked, is ridiculous, right? You shoot it, you hit it, you do 0 damage. In what world would a 122 millimeter explosive shell that hits this thing in the wheel not completely destroy it? Like, basically, every shot that hits an this is my solution now. This is my advice. Every shot that hits an EBR needs to do damage. Forget this suspension wobbly wheel thing. If you want to have the suspension hit wobbly wheel thing, then any shot that hits it's tracked. It's stopped. The clown has to get out of the tank with his pump and pump up the tire while it's stopped, not while it's driving 80 kilometers an hour. So either tracking or wheel shots have to stop them or do damage, and keep them balanced on each side, preferably 1 per side. That's my solution to the EBR infestation that's destroying all high-tier gameplay right now. What's the next thing that people were complaining about? Well, it wasn't HE spam, but what people were complaining about when they pull out in one of these is that every time they pull out in one of these, they encounter one of these spamming heat right through the turret. It's the gold ammo. It's the premium ammo. That's what super heavies were complaining about. They weren't complaining about HE. So what do we do about the gold ammo? This one's difficult because this one, from WarGaming perspective, the number 2 ammo is the credit drain that they need in this game. And WarGaming, I'm being very respectful here. I'm explaining what I believe is the strategy. And you're a business and you want to make money, and I fully understand this. But this is how it works, right? This regular ammo costs 1,260 credits per shot, but it can't penetrate a lot of tanks. So you have to press number 2 to get heat, the gold ammo, and it costs 6,000. It costs 6 times more. This is the credit drain that WarGaming needs in the game, so that you'll shoot this stuff to be able to penetrate the enemies, and you'll lose credits, and then you'll have to get a premium account or buy premium tanks to build up credits so that you can afford to shoot this ammo. I understand that, but it's gotten to the point where heavy slow tanks are unplayable. It wasn't the HE, so what do we do about the gold spam? And you have to keep it simple, but you have to understand that WarGaming has an incentive to drain credits from us, and they have to make a profit. So there's been some things that, some suggestions. Some people have suggested that maybe they could use a mechanic like this. Let's find the tank here like this. This particular tank is one of the tanks in the game that already has a very interesting, and Skill mentioned this in one of his videos. For instance, the regular ammo here costs 630. It has 196 pen and hits for 440. If you spend more credits, right? If you spend 4,000 credits, almost like 7 times more, you get higher damage, but less pen. That's one. They have this in the game in this particular tank. My opinion on this is that it won't work. This is not a good idea across the board for tier 9s and 10s and higher tiers. And Wargaming will never do this. And the reason is because, I'll tell you the reason, people want to shoot the premium ammo to have a higher chance of penetrating. That's, in the high tiers, that's why people load gold. Not to do more damage with less pen. So I don't think it's something that if they made that change, no one would shoot the premium ammo. There would be no credit drain. It wouldn't be even something that Wargaming considers doing. What the reality is, if we go back to just this example, is that the regular pen, say the E100 here is 246, but if you shoot gold, it jumps to 334. That's why people shoot gold, to have a higher chance of penning the heavily armored targets. So that doesn't work. The other suggestion that a lot of people have talked about is, well, why don't we just decrease the amount of damage that the gold ammo does and keep everything else the same? That's, keep it simple, stupid. So in this particular, let's pull out this one. In this particular example, regular ammo is 250 penetration, and APCR is 303. They both do 490 damage. Well, Wargaming, people that drive heavies are, their big grief is pulling out and just getting, cut through like butter by the heat and APCR spam. Why don't you do this? Why don't you say regular ammo is 250 pen, 490 damage. Gold ammo, APCR or heat, whatever it is, 303 pen, much higher chance of penetrating. Just decrease the damage. Decrease the damage 25, 33%. And think about it, Wargaming. I'm actually giving you advice here. I think this would be a win-win, because if you're driving a tank like this, let's go back to, you're driving a tank like this, people can't pen your turret. They have to start shooting heat or APCR, and they will, right? But they'll start doing less damage per shot. So the E100 driver will have more time to shoot back. He'll have more time to maneuver or try and side scrape or try and get in a better position, right? So the E100 driver has a little bit more survivability while he's getting spammed with heat by this guy, right? What's the heat pen on this guy? 340. Like, it's just auto aim on the E100, snap, right through. So the heavy tank drivers that are getting spammed with heat will have a little bit more survivability, and the people that spam the heat, that have no problem spending the credits and are interested in just dealing damage as fast as they can, the serious players, they can still fire heat and APCR, but they'll do less damage per shot. They will have to shoot more. Wargaming, you'll drain more credits, right? They will have to spend more to do the same. So it's a win-win, and it's simple. That's the solution for ammunition. Does that make sense? Keep it simple, stupid. For God's sakes, don't do something like, well, we've listened to the player base, we're working with you, we're going to do another test on the sandbox server, we've reworked all the ammunition, we now have 4 ammunition types, one of them is a special, the different shell arcs, different. My God, just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. And the simplest solution I can think of is on the premium ammo, the gold ammo, just increase the price so it's more expensive than the regular ammo by whatever amount you want, and make it do less damage. So both sides are happy, and you will drain more credits from the game, because people will still shoot heat. They'll still shoot APCR. They'll just have to shoot more. Okay, what was the last thing that I had here? And I'm giving you my advice on things that people were actually... The regular player base, or what they were actually thinking and complaining about, the matchmaker. A lot of people that leave comments on my videos or talk to me, it's always the same. The games last 2 minutes, the games last 3 minutes. I look at the matchmaker, it's completely unbalanced. And this doesn't have to be a complete, total rework, from the grassroots, bottom up, 2 years in the making, a total matchmaker, the Russian style way. It's simple. Just balance it so that if one team gets one of these, the other team should get one. Just tweak your matchmaker so that I've seen games where one team has two of these, and the other team has, two of these, and the game's over before it starts. Or one team has three of these in a platoon, and the other team gets one of these, and one of these, and one of these. It's just a simple tweak to the matchmaker so that you don't have these ridiculously unbalanced sorting. And I know you sort however your matchmaker works, however, the certain amount of heavy tanks, certain amount of medium tanks, certain amount of light tanks, fine. But just do a check, a simple algorithm at the end to make sure that one team doesn't have the stacked tanks. Start balancing the tanks. And the other thing about the matchmaker is, let me think here. I'm kind of losing my thought. Yeah, you can't have a game that has 8 light tanks and 2 heavy tanks and 3 SPGs. You have to put some thought into the matchmaker so that it's a balanced game. You have to think that, okay, there's got to be a certain amount of heavies, a certain amount of TDs, and a certain amount of lights, and a certain amount of EBRs. Just think about that and make a simple ratio. You can't have 7 light tanks, 3 SPGs per side, and then 2 super heavies. Well, what are the super heavies going to do? You have to balance it so that. You know what I'm trying to say. I don't know the exact answer. I'm struggling to explain it. But all I know now is that the matchmaker's all over the place, right? And you get these ridiculous. It's like the matchmaker is this black box that just spouts out nonsense. That you're just waiting there when you hit battle and you go, oh God, let's see what's going to happen. And then when the game starts up, you go, oh, they've got 2 chieftains, 3 BRs. There's 3 artilleries per side. Oh, and we've got a Panther, an AMX 50B, and an AMX 30B. I guess I'll go hide at A1, and the game's over in 2 minutes. You have to understand that some tanks are better than others, and some classes affect the game in different ways, and try and tweak the matchmaker so that the games are a little bit more balanced. Okay, I've gone on long enough. I wanted to make this positive. I'd like to hear your comments in the comment section, what you guys think. But remember, WarGaming is a business. They provide this wonderful game that we all love. And the reason I play this game is because I love the game. And I know most of you that are watching the video love this game. And that's why you're watching the videos, or that's why you play. And I wanted the game to continue and be fun, right? And what I see now is that slowly with every change and everything that WarGaming is working on, it's like a slowly getting disconnected from the player base and working on things that I just have no idea how you prioritize and why you come up with the stuff that you're working on. It doesn't seem to match what the vast majority of the player base is actually concerned about or would like to see. And let me just summarize the things that I thought. What I actually think people are concerned about are, they were concerned about SPGs, and I think just limiting them to 1 per side is the answer. You're going to have to rework them again because this latest patch is a shit show. SPGs have been destroyed, and you're going to lose players, WarGaming. People that are devoted SPG players are not going to play anymore. This was a ridiculous update. Number 2, the crew changers and commander stuff that you're working on, just shelve it. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants their crew that they've worked on for 11 years or 10 years to be replaced by a 52-point commander that you're going to sell in the premium shop to a beginner. Nobody wants that, right? That's why you're doing it, so that you can sell the commanders in the premium shop after the fact. That's going to piss off everyone. Just don't do that. Shelf that. People complaining about EBRs, you have to fix EBRs. You have to have 1 per side maximum, both sides having one. when you hit them in the wheels, they have to stop, and every shot you hit them with has to do damage. Okay, otherwise they get rewarded for being clowns, and they ruin everyone's game. Number 2, the gold spam. A lot of the regular players, this really bothers them. I know the Unicoms want to be able to spam the gold and keep that WN8 up and deal the damage as fast as they can. And they've got 900,000 gold in their account, and it's no problem. But the regular schmoes, it's really, really annoying for the regular players that are just trying to enjoy the game. They can't shoot heat anymore. You have to do something, and I think my solution of lowering the damage and increasing the cost of heat and APCR, people will shoot more, you'll drain more credits, and people that are getting hit are going to take less damage. I think that's a good solution. And the matchmaker. I don't know the matchmaker algorithm. I don't know how to fix it myself, but it has to be, it has to make sense. You have to have the same types of tanks on both sides, and you can't stack the games with 12 TDs or 3 SPGs or 7 light tanks. You have to have some, just think about it and have some guidelines on how the matchmaker should place the tanks in, so that it's a strategy, fun game to play. Guys, I've gone on long enough. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave some comments. I wanted to make it constructive. If anyone from WarGaming, if you're tired of just taking advice from the Unicoms that cry about different things and you change them right away, and you're not you're out of touch with the regular schmoes and the regular players. You're talking to the wrong guys. If you want to talk to me, send me a message, and I'll talk to you about what the regular schmoes and regular players that play for free, and the bulk of this player base is actually really talking about. I'll give you my advice without yelling and screaming and and throwing a tantrum, which is hard for me. I realize this, but I want to see this game improve, and I hope some of the stuff we talked about, maybe you've heard some of it, and maybe you at least think about it and improve the game. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.